Devo. No Bob tonight. Sorry.
Bob Danger. I can barely hear that.
What?
I can't. I can hear it through your headphones. I can't hear it. It's not playing.
Are you crazy? What the heck?
Welcome to Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom.
What happens when Toys R Us kids grow up to become parents? They become co-hosts of the show where geeky fathers unite to share the joys, challenges, and hilarity of navigating parenthood. Because being a grown-up doesn't mean you stop being a fan. It just means your sidekicks call you Bob.
What about Bob?
Apparently, this is the Bob and Nerdy show from now on. Did you change the stupid jokes category?
To groans with Charles?
Yeah.
Not yet.
You said, I mean, also means you didn't record an opening with him, so that's good too. That's fine. Hey man, it's been a week.
It has indeed. It has indeed. And I'm feeling a lot better this week than I was last week, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, Joe was just being white person lazy last week, but I called him out. I was like, come on, man. You got to show up. You're the 1%er on the show. So, and Devo, tonight, back at DragonCon, Devo brought a number of bottles of alcohol to me. And I believe this was one of them, Devo. It is David Nicholson 1843 brand, 100 proof, bottled in bond, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So I did not look it up to see if it's like special or anything. Because I think bottled in bond is especially maybe a little special. But anyway, Devo, that's what I'm sipping on tonight. And I got an old callback to our good buddy, Barry. I got the Snorlax on because it's cold, man.
Yeah, Barry sent that to you, right?
Yeah.
Good old Barry.
Good old Barry. So, all right. So I don't know if you ever read the preview title and descriptions, Joe, before the show goes out, but I asked ChatGPT a question today. And said, is a nerd daddy a natty? And it said yes, basically.
a nat 20.
Yeah. You're only Tennessee, I see. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, what, Joe?
I don't know if you want to know. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to share my screen. My son just sent me something on Discord.
Okay. Wow.
He said, this is Chuck.
Wow. You have the disrespect that you have brought into your household will not be long forgotten, sir.
So why don't you describe it for our podcast listeners?
It looks like he dropped his kid on their head when they were little and then fed them glue and then handed them a half chewed up crayon to draw a picture of me. Where I guess they took a screenshot of actual camera and then, yeah.
And then colored over you and made you bald.
Yep. So the disrespect shall not be long forgotten.
Oh, no.
So, Joe, what was your favorite toy growing up? Was it a knife to stab people in the back with? Is that's what your favorite toy was?
Oh, man.
Which one of the disowned nephews was that?
That was Bob.
Noted, sir.
Bob
Noted.
Danger, living dangerously.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So.
Like you said, the question of the week is, what was your favorite toy growing up? Oh, man. I had quite a few different toys. Most of them were hand-me-downs because, I'm kid number 4 out of 6. But my brother gave me his Lego collection when I was younger, and I absolutely loved building all kinds of random stuff, because at that point it was literally just Legos in a bin. It was no longer whatever the kit they were purchased as. And so I loved it. It fueled my creativity, and built all kinds of stuff with it, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go with Legos.
You would absolutely go with the toy that led to a lot of emotional and physical trauma in my life. I understand that is what you would choose, of course.
Well, that might be what we need to do for story time. How did Legos cause so much trauma in your life?
Yeah, well, there's a story there. It starts when I met Bob, and he was a little punk, but I'll fix him. It'll be fine. No, well, my toy tracks also in the fact that telling stories and controlling worlds, right? And so, don't put up another one. What? Why? What? Okay, it went away. I thought you were sharing another one. It's like, I don't want to see any more horrible sketches of who I'm not. So, but like for me, it was all figurines basically. So GI Joe, Star Wars, they're all the same size, similar kung fu grips. Now GI Joe had bendable elbows and knees, and Star Wars didn't. But I always blended them together. So that's probably my favorite toy, was those figures, because I would lose myself for hours just take up the whole of my room, and you play it out and do different things, and then not clean it up afterwards, which really pissed my mom off. But she at least kept me busy for like 2 to 3 hours, where she didn't have to worry about crap. She could take a nap or whatever, go kick a puppy. I don't know what she did. But that was mine. Was that. So I'm sure we have a few of our speak pipes, which if you go to wiseandnerdy.com/call dad, you can leave your voice there. John Marsh, he was a little bit more rich than I was growing up. He had Transformers. You would pick another toy that gave me deep emotional trauma, sir. I understand that. Yeah.
My brother had some Transformers toys. Those were ones that he shared very reluctantly.
Now,
So.
I can play with my sister's Barbie dolls whenever I want, so maybe that's why I like drag queens. I don't know.
All right, so this one I think is a brand new caller for us.
All right,
it's just labeled as Smalls.
On this week's question of what's your favorite toy growing up, it's the Disney Spider-Man skateboard from 2013. Yeah, 2013. And It was my favorite toy because my grandma gave it to me on her bed for Christmas, and I used it all the time until I lost it.
So I had previewed about 2 seconds of that, but after listening to it, I do recognize that voice.
I don't know why he puts. Okay, so there's a story behind that whole group. That's Ryland, my son, and which I should probably text him. Hey, dummy, watch the show. But I said, hey, I want you to answer the question. And when I told him what the question of the week was, he lit up. He's like, oh man, and he starts looking up. He's like, oh, I can't find what that thing was, and he finally says it's Batman Castle. I'm like, oh. It's the Batman Castle from Fisher Price and this and that. And because each of the boys had one growing up. He is watching. And so I'm like, he is, I don't know where he got this from, but he's so missed the point of telling the story that that's his second favorite toy, by the way. Because he couldn't find what it was actually called for the Batman Castle. So it bugged him so much that he couldn't get the pinpointed thing. It's like, buddy, it's just about sharing the passion and the love. But I did a skit with him unintentionally. I wish he had recorded it. Because I was like, what are you taking so long? He's like, how was it phrased again? I'm like, who cares? Who cares? When it's on the screen, man, who cares? Just tell the story, man. Just get on there and say, I love the Batman Castle. And then he didn't. Then he did the Spider-Man. And then he went, I loved it until I lost it. And his mom immediately goes, I think it's just right there on the back porch, man. He goes, probably. So, yes, that was Ryland. And Ryland, thank you for sharing your story, son. I appreciate it.
All right.
Better than Bob.
Speaking of Bob, let's see what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm the Dangerous Bob. And for the question of the week, what was your favorite toy growing up? I'm still growing up. So, my favorite toy right now is the Nintendo Switch. Also Nintendo Switch 2, but I don't have one. But if you say
His brother
video
does,
games
right?
or toys, who are you and what have you done with your life? Brought to you by Bob.
Oh, Bob. Oh, Bob.
Yeah, Bob. There's gonna be a Switch 3 in your future, just so you know. You can pick it out, old school style.
Yeah, you find it in the backyard.
Yeah.
Bring him a Switch.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
But
man.
Malachi has it too. Yeah, he saved up his money or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saved up and bought that. And then
Which is, I'm just saying that for the audience, really, because why Bob says he likes the Switch 2, but he doesn't have one, but he has access to one.
Yes, correct.
Cool.
All right. Looks like Jeb recorded one, and you never know what you're gonna get with him, so we'll find out.
Hi, this is from Jebediah. What is it your favorite toy growing up? It is
You got this. Come on.
it's Hot Wheels right now.
Ooh, all right.
So bye. And I want to have a third name. Growings with Charles.
Groans with Charles. So he has been obsessed ever since you gave Bob the middle name Danger. He wants
When did I call him Danger?
last week after he said groans with Bob. It groans with Charles.
I don't believe I called him Danger.
You did. You called him Bob Danger.
Well, I regret that drunken decision. So now Jebediah.
Jeb wants you to give him a middle name.
All right, I'll work on it, man. I'll work on it. I got you. But
right.
you got to take my side more, man. You can't be all back in the groans with Charles crap, son. You gotta be like, I'm an adult. I don't know what you gotta be like.
All right, and then Devo has answered the question of the week as well.
Hello, folks. It's been a while. So, question of the week: what's your favorite toy growing up? First thing that pops in my mind is I was maybe, I don't know, 6, 7.
Oh,
And not 6, 7. 6
Yeah.
or at the age of 6 or the age of 7.
there you go.
Boy, that's going to start something. My mother bought me, I don't know, my mom was like, she loved going to garage sales. And I'd say probably half the stuff I ever got was from garage sales, but she always thought of us. And she found these 2 Star Trek, the original Star Trek communicator style walkie-talkies. Loved them. Played with them to death. Man, I wish I still had them. They're probably worth an insane amount today. But at that time, they were nothing but fun. And me and my brother run around. The battery cable, 9-volt, that little wire comes out. I did everything. Tape, whatever, try to keep that thing alive. And I did for the longest time. Antenna broke. Finally, the flip broke. It's hard being a kid. Well, it's going to be hard being a toy with a kid, but I had a lot of fun. So that's mine.
Nice.
Brought to you by Devo.
And I bet, I bet he had like the really, because they don't make walkie-talkies like they did then, right? I mean, those were some real deal. Even though they were toys, they were some solid pieces of equipment.
Yeah, I remember playing with walkie-talkies at my friend's house when I was little, and it was on the same frequency as their cordless phone in the house. And so we could hear their phone calls through the walkie-talkies while we were playing out in the yard. They couldn't hear us because we were still talking to each other, but it didn't go over the phone.
What about did yours ever pick up the McDonald's drive-through?
No.
Yeah, every once in a while I get a CB radio, and every once in a while I'd get like the drive-through from McDonald's or whatever on those. It was fun.
Yeah, we had walkie-talkies whenever we would go when we would go on road trips where we had to take more than one vehicle, and so our two vehicles would have them, and sometimes we would be on the same frequency as someone else on the highway.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. We didn't, as far as I know, we didn't usually get onto the CB radio frequencies, at least none that we knew of. But we would run into other passengers, and sometimes we'd spark up a conversation if they passed a vibe check or whatnot. But yeah, it was back then, back before cell phones.
You know what you
in
can do
my
now?
day.
That's kind of similar. Is for I think it comes automatically locked now, so it's not as easy. But as you're driving down the road, as long as you're a passenger, you have an iPhone. You just every once in a while check to see who's near you to do an airdrop.
An airdrop.
And just drop random fun photos of like everybody in the car. Ah! Yeah. I like finding if I'm going down the road, my wife's driving. I like finding open Wi-Fi's in people's cars and seeing if there's anything I can do with it. Usually there's not.
No,
But,
hop on their hotspot.
Yeah, yeah. But see, I don't even have the hacking tools, right? So if I get in your hotspot, I want to be able to like change your radio or something. Be funny. But yeah.
Apparently, my kids talk to the police with their walkies.
Well,
That's the
Jabby,
first time hearing of that.
report all the bodies that Bob has left in the backyard.
Because he's dangerous.
He's dangerous.
Oh,
Bob,
man.
dangerous.
Bob Danger.
Hard.
Oh, all right. Should we roll some
Bedard?
dice?
Let's roll some dice.
All right.
Almost said dice.
Well, we're not going to the commercial break, so it's your favorite.
Bad dad joke.
AKA Groans with Charles. And we do indeed have a bad dad joke from Bob.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Bob. This is the Groans with Charles section. These will be Valentine's Day jokes that you can tell your wives. Are you a banana? Because I find you appealing. I'm not a photographer, but I can picture us together. What did one light bulb say to the other? I love you, Watts. Those are some bad Bob jokes. See you next week for more Groans with Charles.
All right. He's taking feedback. He kept it to 3. Good on you, Bob. So I'm going to give you another challenge. I want you to start working on like an English or an Irish accent. I hear a Groans with Charles. That's what I want to hear from old Bobby. So work on that, man. Let's see what you got.
We've got Devo commenting on the Groans with Charles
Okay.
segment.
I just want to say, Bob, well done on your bad dad,
Yeah.
bad Bob jokes. You did great, but we got to work on your delivery. You've got to finesse Charles. Charles has to be drawn in. You got to work him like clay. You're going to be making a pot, and you're going to be filling it full of bad dad jokes, and then you're going to let it dry and hit it with a hammer, Thor's hammer. Better yet, the wise and nerdy dice mallet or hammer, whatever you want to call that. Yes, work on it, my friend. Just gotta make it a little bit more drawn out. We'll work on it. Your dad will help you work on it. Although Joe gets pretty excited, so I kind of see where it comes from. But my friend, you got a good start there.
Yeah, just the worst about a punchline. You've at least learned to hold the punchline, but you'll laugh because you can't hold that back. But I will honestly stand here now, and they can cut this clip for all of eternity because I will stand on this. I don't care if he's the next greatest comedian in the world. If we shape Bob in some kind of bad dad joke telling comedian, I will question everything I've ever done in my life. It's like, how did that come out of anything I've ever been around and influenced? Because that is the worst. And I get 10%.
But speaking of Devo, maybe he can show how the delivery is done.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
So I still have some more jokes from my mom, and I'm going to savor them and only provide a few. And here's one more. When does an Irish potato change its nationality? When it's French fried.
That little chuckle.
Right? Yeah. That's
I
cheating, John. That's cheating.
I hope that that people on the podcast could hear that, because sometimes when it's quiet like that, it
Yeah.
doesn't come across in the
That's right,
podcast. But yeah, there was that
Do you
little hee hee hee.
Do you listen back to the podcast?
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes,
Okay.
yeah. I listen to the live stream a lot more because I crop it down into
Yeah.
the clips.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Is that all the pain?
That is all of your pain.
On to the
It was a
games.
major pain. Good movie, by the way.
Yeah, it was
Right.
a good movie.
You want one or two?
One.
What are you nerding out about?
That 10% better be a lot of money, Bob. That's what I'm worried about. All right, Joe. You last week we did hang out for a little while, but you cut it because you're like, hey, I gotta get up in the morning and I gotta get up the road to do something so laborious and painful that you just dread doing this with your family twice a year, like clockwork.
Once a year.
Well, it should be twice because it's worth it. You don't love your family like I love mine, but that's okay. But what were you doing? What were you doing with your family last week?
We went to Pigeon Forge, went to Wonderworks, or a lot of people call it the Upside Down Building.
Yep.
There's a few different Wonderworks locations, and I think
Yep.
they're all upside down buildings.
I
But
believe
it's
so.
it's in a hands-on science museum. And it's a ton of fun. So they try to make learning fun, and sometimes it's just some of it's literally just video games. Like they've got Pac-Man and stuff there too. But they've got stuff like when you first walk in, off to the left, there's a little bowl of water, and it's kept at the same temperature as the water was when the Titanic went down. And it's got a little blurb
Okay.
about the Titanic, and so you can put your hand in there and feel how cold it is.
Then there's a woman next to it to show you what happens when you mix the two.
There's a silhouette of a door saying that there could be two people on it, and no.
It's like all the different Tetris ways you could have put on the door.
They've got a couple of rooms that simulate natural disasters, like
Yeah.
an earthquake one, and one that
Tornado.
simulates a tornado.
Yep.
They've got a Tesla coil that you can put your hands in, and it plays music, and it's got all kinds of stuff there. My boys especially love that we get to play laser tag.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
for the first time since we've started going, I did not come in first at laser tag. So Malachi is very excited that he won.
Good for you, Mal. You're now the man of the house officially, Malachi. So you got to start paying the bills, and yeah, that's just how it goes. It's like Black Panther.
He confessed afterwards that the way he won was he just kept shooting the 5 and 6 year old that were in the group over and over and over.
Yeah, you take the weak ones out.
So much so that Jeb had a negative score.
Oh wait, don't pick on old Jebby. Don't
Oh, yeah.
pick
Jeb is 6.
I'll teach you laser knifing. That's a different type of game. I got you, bud. I got you.
Yeah, no, he shot Jeb so much that he had like negative 2,000 for his point score at the end. That's the first time that we've gone there where I've seen someone with a negative score. Yeah, no, he picked on them something fierce, but he got the points. He won the game.
Yeah, man. It's all in the rules.
Yep.
Sucks for Jeb. He's dead. Jeb's dead.
Many times over. But yeah, no, it was a ton of fun. We took a ton of pictures, and so I was super impressed with I recently got the new phone, talked about that a bit on some of the pre-show stuff. I don't know if I've talked much on the actual main podcast of it, but I got an iPhone 17 Pro, and the lighting at Wonderworks is not always the best, especially for
Sure.
pictures.
Yeah.
And so it can make it difficult for taking pictures. Not only that, but zooming in, because like my boys went up on the ropes course that's up in the ceiling, that's walking among the stars
Yep.
or whatever, the moon, I think they call it the moonwalk or star walk. Anyway, regardless, so like when Malachi was at the very, very, very top, he hollered down at me, and I zoomed in, and it was like a 10 times zoom.
Yeah. Put up the little window for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the picture is real good. It turned out really well.
Yeah.
And yes, we took all kinds of pictures and videos and whatnot, and it was a blast. We had a bunch of our friends with us, because it was so the homeschool group that we normally go with is going when you and I will be gone at Con Nuga.
Okay.
And so what my wife did is she contacted them or looked up on their website, and they have weekends for homeschool groups in general throughout January and February. And so we formed our own group with people that we know, and
Sure.
as long as you have 10 or more, you can get the group discount and whatnot. So
All right.
so we just had our own group, and it was awesome because there were hardly any other people there when we got there.
Oh yeah.
And so we had the place almost to ourselves, whereas in previous years there's been lines for everything, like not
Yeah, sure.
horrible, but
Yeah.
enough. And so yeah, it was a ton of fun, had a blast. It's just great place, great pictures, great memories.
The one all of them are slightly different, and I've been to the one in Myrtle Beach probably more. I've been to the one in Orlando and the one in Myrtle Beach, and I think it was the one in Myrtle Beach that had a special room on perspective, to where it had the slanted floor, and even standing in the same room, I would look like I was getting shorter to you by walking across the room.
Oh, okay.
And you could roll the ball uphill and those kind of things.
Interesting.
And it also has a thing with light and frequency of light that it talks about. Like you said, everything has a lesson. Everything has what's going on and how your brain's working and blah, blah. And it has a thing where it's like you have 3 different speeds of light that you have 3 different buttons you can hit. And one of the strobes makes it looks like the water is still, like it's just frozen. The other shows it going down. The other makes it look like it's dripping upwards.
And it's all a visual effect, because if you put your hand under there, the water is just dripping.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yep, they've got that bed of nails. Actually, when you first walk in,
I've done the bed of nails. Yeah.
You walk over a bridge where the whole room is spinning, and so it throws off your balance, your equilibrium, because of your perception is altered by you're walking on a bridge that is still, but the entire room is spinning. And so but for people that would cause motion sickness, you can bypass that first little tidbit. But
and Zebediah, we call that training for college. So I will be helping you get ready for college by taking you to WonderWorks into that room over and over again.
The boys, they went out and through that a couple of times.
It's fun.
Yeah, they like that. They like the astronaut training. At least Bob does. So you pop into one of those the things that spins you super fast.
It does this,
to simulate a certain amount of G forces on the body. They have
the one with the 6-axis that's like a spacewalk where you have to figure out how to control it and get it floating right.
No, you don't have to do that. It's just it's on a predetermined course where it spins, and it does take them upside down and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a ton of fun.
I love that you got something out of your phone with it too. That's really cool. You got a chance to really play with the stuff on it. From earlier, I'm not sure who Main Dude is, but Main Dude says, "I hope you can let go of that pain." So thank you for listening, watching, and taking a pot shot at me. I appreciate it. All right, what is my? Okay, so as of last night, I watched it
Oh.
just this evening before the show. The Muppet Show did a special.
Oh.
They're not coming back, which is BS in my book. But there was a 30-minute-ish special made. Dude says you're welcome. I tell you, it's I'm in a weird spot in life where I'm dealing with things, and it's just been a rough couple of years, and so on and so forth, whatever. But the spark of happiness that I had, it took me back. So I've watched all the iterations of the Muppets, right? In the late 70s through the early 80s, they did the Muppet Show. And I just remember growing up, and my dad, before he'd go to work in the morning, like I was up at 7:30, whatever, with him, we're eating cereal, and I'm going to do my homeschool for the day or whatever. He's going off to work. We would watch the Muppet Show. I'm sure it was a rerun, right, at 7:30 in the morning or whatever. And that's where I got introduced to Simon and Garfunkel, and I mean Elton John, and tons of artists and musicians and comedians from that era, because it was a stage show that was done for adults. That was the Muppets, and they kept it clean enough and total line enough that it was good for kids, but it was made for adults. And there's Muppets Tonight was trying to do like a nightly talk show version. It was whatever. I didn't care for it. But this one, I was very wary about it because it's tradition. I mean, you're pulling the things that we grew up with. There's still somewhere in a box, but I have the entire DVD set of the Muppet Show episodes and everything else. Because when they first came out with those, when I was a young adult, first married, or early years of marriage to my wife, we ordered those immediately and got them. So I'll tell you, they did it, man. They did it. You got the traditional cold open, and they've already ruined this, spoiled this part on social media. But Kermit's walking through and it's kind of grayish, and you're hearing faint the Muppet Show theme and playing, and he sits down at his desk and he goes, "Oh, Rolf, are you playing that piano?" He goes, "Yeah, what'd you think? This is a montage in your head? The show's got to go on, man." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, crap." And he jumps up and and then they go into kind of how it's coming back. It's the theater. It's the Muppet Show theater. It's Scooter is there, helping run the show with Kermit. My wife didn't like Kermit's voice. He's like, "Well, it's not right." It's like, it's never going to be right. Kermit's dead. I mean, Jim Henson was the Kermit. And people can get close, but it's... I think Kermit was the closest to him that any of his voices was, as far as like in his heart, it felt like. There's never going to be another Kermit like that. And that's okay to me. But they always did a cold open where somebody had to check in the dressing room on the celebrity before the show started. That's how you found out who the celebrity was that night. They did that. It's Sabrina Carpenter, and she's okay. I'm not that familiar with her, so I thought it was fine. But it was... Man, they brought everybody. They had Rizzo the Rat in there, and they did a special. You had Pepe the Prawn. Gonzo did a skit that went sideways. Fozzie did some bits. Fozzie had the best joke in the whole show, and I won't ruin it. But they took him from being this loser wannabe comedian to, like, he didn't get on stage and do a show or anything, but he nailed this joke. It was great. There's some fan service in there. The rabbit from the Muppets Christmas special that was on TV. I can't remember. Phil knows it. Phil knows that's like Steven Adams. That's like one of their favorites. But there was this Muppet Family Christmas, I think is what I'm thinking of. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe not. But there's a rabbit that I could find it. The rabbit's in there. Sam the Eagle's in there. The bear, Barney, I think his name's Barney the bear, the security guard's in there. You had the old janitor from the original show, Muppet was in there. Waldorf and Statler were perfection, except for the timing. I didn't care for, I felt like the original had a natural timing. They'd tell the joke and they'd tell the punchline and then laugh almost immediately. It was almost like they were not parodying, but tributing to the originals, because it was almost like punch, laugh, punch, laugh. I was like, no, they had more normal flow to them than that, but their jokes were good. Their jokes made me laugh. and Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. We had a great song, musical from them at the end, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and they even had Zoot do the saxophone blow at the end of the credits. Gonzo did the trumpet where it did something silly at the beginning. It not in a big way, but it brought some tears to my eyes, man. I was like, man, I haven't felt that kind of happiness in a while. And it wasn't probably, if you've never seen the Muppet Show, you might watch it after I talked about it here and go, what is he talking about? But it took me back to that innocent kid who didn't know how much life was going to crush him later on, and just sitting there, just absorbing the entertainment. And that's maybe where I got a lot of mine from, was that was just, I watched Sesame Street a lot too, but that one just was rock stars and showbiz and what goes wrong with the show and the production of things and how it all happens and works out fine. And it's funny. And it was fantastic. I love it. So it's on Disney Plus. It is listed as a Muppet Show special. It's the only one I've heard of, but F you, Disney. Of all the things you fund, I mean, they, just like any other company, they throw money. Oh yeah, Animal and Nosuke would be best friends. You're absolutely right. Random kid. Animal's over there off screen. You can't see him, but Animal's one for. Animal had a great moment. I mean, everybody got a touch. Beaker and Bunsen and Beaker got the Swedish Chef got a touch. Like, he got 5 seconds of screen time, but it was enough. He was there. Bunsen and Beaker did one of their traditional skits. That's cool. Instead of doing pigs in space, he did pigs in wigs, which was like at Downton Abbey or one of those other ones that they do, right? Although the pigs in space people were there in the background. You could, not in that skit, but backstage. So you got all of that. So yeah, Animal was great, but Disney throws so much money at so many things that are okay, so many things that are not great, and some things that are really great. Thank you for putting out a special, but really, with Seth Rogen executive producing, which means he put his own money into it as well. And you had Maya Rudolph there, because I think she also is one of the producers on the show. She had a few bits in the show that were great. These are fantastic comedians who are paying homage to their childhood and their inspirations, and you did it well. And Sabrina Carpenter is fine. I need 6-episode, 8-episode, 10-episode run. Man, I need that. I need it back. I will discover
more than just the tease they gave.
Yeah, bring me whatever artists of the week you want to. Introduce me to new people. Bring not old people back, but bring fun people back. Mix and match some of the stuff. What maybe I'd know more about Bad Bunny than I do if I saw him on Muppet Show. No, I've heard some of the stuff. He's okay. I think it's great he's doing the Super Bowl, because I don't give a crap who's doing the Super Bowl. He's a huge artist. Get over it. I did some. Sorry, side note. Somebody did say on TikTok, is like, for those of you watch the Super Bowl who are so either eager or angry about the Super Bowl halftime show, that's like a carpenter or contractor. That's like a contractor getting mad about the interior design. It's like, you're here for the wrong thing, man. It's football. It's the biggest game of the blah. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, the Muppet Show, it really hit that nostalgia, and it really hit all the notes well. I'm glad that Disney gave Seth, I'm presuming because his name is listed first as executive producer, and he's featured in the show. I'm assuming that he really drove the project, and I'm glad that they let him do whatever he did, because it really, take it for what it is, right? You might not like the music numbers. You might love them. You might not like some of the comedy. You might love it. But it is what the Muppet Show was through and through. Not even a tribute. Not even we changed a few things. It was, they took the show, they put it on today, because why not? I've always said you could do that. So hopefully we'll get more. So everybody go watch it like 15 times over the next 2 weeks and really skew those numbers, and let's get more. And then a little side note, good.
So just very, very, very random. Did you ever see the episode of Angel where he gets turned into a puppet?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen all of Angel. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that one cracks me up so much. Again, it's a tangent, but it made me think of it.
Gators. They did a musical note with Sabrina Carpenter, almost Little Mermaid-esque, where Kermit, her, and a boat, and they're singing Islands in the Stream. And they brought out the old Swamp Gator Muppet, and he's singing, and they're doing stuff. But they brought up some basic generic fish. I'm like, this is Disney. And they did a Little Mermaid live Broadway show. Where's the Flounder Muppet? And I know I've heard tales of, even inside of Disney, licensing is a nightmare, right? You can't just put Little Mermaid in a Pixar film because licensing, even though it's owned, it's all. But Disney, if you're going to do this, you're struggling. Now, Disney Plus, as we talked about last week after the show, Disney Plus itself is starting to show a profit, but that's with Hulu attached, not separated. We know that Disney parks are suffering. We'll see what happens in the real world, but you want to be king of the shows. You want to win 2026 right now. You do the Muppet Show, damn the licensing inside of Disney. Any property that Disney touches, you let them, if it fits. Touches. Yeah. If it fits, you let them have it. You let them have a moment, an X-Men joke, if they don't want to make the Muppet. But you already have stuff that has Muppets out there, or puppets, I guess. I don't know who made them. Only the Henson Company makes Muppets. But I believe the some of the live shows with Little Mermaid have had. No, I do know. At Disney itself, they have puppets of some of the characters, right? As they're doing some of the live shows and stuff, including Star Wars. Exactly. You could do you could have guest spots show up with Mark Hamill popping in or something, right? Sweetums is in the background at least twice, and I was like, you don't even have to make a big deal out of it. When we're doing the swamp song with it, I know Flounder's not in the swamp, but wouldn't it be fun that just kind of in the background with other fish? Her. Yeah, Flounder just pops up and is singing. It's just clearly the yellow and blue. Come on, you will be unstoppable with this show if you let them use whatever property you touch in there. Nobody can do that. They would have to throw so much more money. I mean, sure, Apple can try to challenge that by teaming up with Universal, but the contract would take forever. This is in your own house, the house of the mouse, man. Come on.
Well, that was part of the magic of Kingdom Hearts, because they had crossovers with so many different properties between Square Enix with Final Fantasy and Disney.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
Good. And it's also a well done game, but 1000% that brought the magic to it.
Oh yeah. Yep. The storyline gets quite wonky as it goes along, because storyline is just a suggestion. But
who doesn't want to play Goofy with a gun? That
he
was
doesn't
the last
have a
one.
gun.
Oh, the last one.
Okay, I haven't played the last one.
I didn't either, but I remember the advertising like, it's dark and gritty. I mean, Donald's got a gun, Goofy's got a gun.
Donald was a mage and Goofy had the shield.
Yeah, they did, and that was a blast.
So
now I'll be honest.
Now I need a Goofy with the and I just started blasting.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yuck your woman in the clique you come from. If doesn't get it. Doesn't don't. Sorry. But I've been talking about this for weeks. I keep forgetting to bring it, Joe. If you wish, you can have one. Bob, I'll sell him one for 15. Jeb, I'll sell him one for 5. But this is the
there you
actual
go. You got your pins.
Enamel pin. Yeah, I mean, look at that quality.
Yeah.
And it's big enough to have the double back on it.
The double backed pin.
Yep, comes with the rubber. It's a big back like me. But yeah, man, it's amazing. The quality is there. I love that I can feel the ridges of everything. I'm very happy with this one.
There you go.
So a person at Chattanooga will absolutely get one, because it'll be the prize for Fandom Face Off. And then I was going to offer to sell them for $5 at the show there, but it's going to be if Ben agrees, it'll be $10 at the
at his booth. Okay.
Now there's one more level I can do with this. A little different style that I might try on the next one, where it's actually the raised ridges and it looks like it's poured in. You know, they'll do that. They can do that one as well. But I'm very happy, very, very happy. So I've had them in since mid-January. I just keep forgetting to show them off to you here on the show. But
Okay.
yeah, so that was part of my nerding. I finally brought it out here. So, all right, let's roll that dice.
Well, double sixes. That means we got to do bad dad jokes again, right?
That means I quit. That means we need to start throwing three dice.
There's another 6 and a 2.
Tell Mojo Jojo a story.
All right. This one I wrote for you. I wrote this last minute as we were coming into the show. So if you're Joe and your daddy, is it Jaddy? Jaddy, tell me a story. Joe, Papa Joe, Daddy.
Oh no!
What did you do that you'll never let your kids do?
Oh man. So I think I've told this story before on the podcast, but there was a summer where I spent a lot of time with my cousins, but my cousins, their parents were divorced. My uncle was divorced from my aunt. My aunt lived right across the street, but my uncle lived, I don't know, like 8 miles away or so, maybe further. And I asked my parents, I'm like, can I walk over to the uncle's house to play with my cousins?
1.5 miles, did you say?
No, like 8 miles.
Oh, you're Eminem. My bad. Gotcha.
It was like 8, 9 miles, and it was
6, 7.
It was busy streets, and I mean, we're in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and they're like, yeah,
you're walking the streets of Philadelphia.
Born and raised. And yeah, no, it took me probably 2.5 hours to walk over to their place from ours. And yeah, I mean, I made it there fine. We played, and then my parents, when they got off work, came and picked me up afterwards, so I didn't have to walk home. But yeah, no.
How long did that take you?
Like 2.5 hours of walking.
Gee whiz. The things we did as kids that we thought were normal, right? Or just didn't think they were abnormal. It's like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, let's just go. And
your parents. So, any major highways, any state roads, any craziness like that they had to cross?
No, but big enough thoroughfares that. No, there was one like really minor state highway that I walked alongside for maybe about 1 mile. But yeah, it was all main streets. Like, it wasn't any back alleys or anything like that. But yeah, like I didn't even think, oh, I should probably bring a water bottle, or I didn't even think anything of that. I just started walking, kept walking. Ended up there. No, my kids are not doing that. Well, partially because the major road right outside of my neighborhood doesn't have shoulder, and people are just gonna, run over whoever's trying to walk on the side of the street there. There's no shoulder, and it falls off into a ditch.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it would be very, very, very unsafe for them to try to walk any sort of distance from our place to anywhere else. But even without that, I don't know if I could do it. If I could let my kids, if I would let them walk, 2.5 hours over
with no cell phone, with no tracker, with no nothing, just.
I gotta figure that my parents are like, we got 5 other kids if he goes missing.
Well, I threaten my kids with that sometimes. But I was just trying to look up the distance. So a news story did just hit here in Atlanta at the end of January. It's January 30th. It was in my face there. But on the YouTube video, it doesn't give the distance. But basically, a 6-year-old, his parents allowed him to go to the park alone, ride a scooter to the park. If I remember correctly, I don't even think it was a mile. I think it's like 6 blocks down. At most, it's a mile, which is more than 6 blocks, I imagine. But it was in the city in a neighborhood where it's safer, so on and so forth. There was somebody at the playground waiting on him. I don't know the details if they had like a tracker on him or anything, but they're trying to give him, a little bit of freedom to be safe in the world and make sure he can do what he's supposed to do. He not only got to the park okay and did fine. On the way back, he's coming home by himself, and a stranger stopped in a car to ask him questions about where he lived and where his parents were and all the things that they're thinking they're being helpful in stranger danger, and he bolted. He did the right thing, and he bolted home. So that upset the stranger so much that they called the cops, and DFAX has gotten involved, and they're being investigated for let's see if it says here, if it's actual. The allegations were found to be unsubstantiated. Yes, good. But they were basically being investigated by child welfare. They said they were told somebody complained that their son was on the scooter unsupervised. What kind of world? Now, I'm with you. I would not let my kids, and I'm going to tell a story myself too, but I would not let my kids, at what age were you again?
I was probably about 14, maybe a little younger.
Okay, at 14, I might let you walk down the street. Yeah, this is the South. Well, okay, you're in Philly. My bad. You're in Philly. In the South, it's like, boy, you've been working on the farm for at least 2 years by now. I mean, I expect you're gonna be okay. No, okay, that's fair. But there was, I remember a story a number of years ago, maybe a couple decades now, who knows? But a woman got in trouble in New York City for letting her 8-year-old take the subway to school. They had practice. She's trying to teach them if things go, if we're not around, you got to be able to handle yourself a little bit. And people got upset about that. Again, they got in no trouble. But it's like, what is this world coming to that a stranger doesn't realize they are the danger, Bob? And they are approaching this kid who doesn't know them, asking all kind of questions, including where they live, all the no questions. And when he runs away from them to his house, that's the only way they knew where he lived, that they stalked him to his house. They think they're the heroes. It's crazy. All right. So my wife actually just brought up to me that it's been floated. So my youngest daughter, Zoe, she is 12, and she's the baby of the family. She's hitting that phase where she likes to be awkward. She does not like to figure things out, typically. She's fine. She's not a wilting flower or anything like that. But she's the baby of the family, and she acts like it sometimes in that just take care of me kind of way. By all means, both me and my wife have tried to push her into uncomfortable situations. I know you got to start learning, interact with adults. Here's the safe way to do it. Here's what you got to blah, 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 blah. So it's been floated that her recently, a couple months ago, her best friends that lived around the corner, that she'd probably known for about a year at that point, but they were hanging out together, always two sisters, one younger. So it was just as good mix of people. They were homeschooled. She was homeschooled. Everything's going great. They moved. So the mom and dad were already divorced before then. Mom lived out in Texas somewhere. Dad's remarried, blah, blah, blah. Well, whatever reason, dad moves up to Kentucky. It's been floated that basically the mom's going to drive up from Texas to pick up the girls for the summer or for whatever time. And she possibly has offered that she comes back through to head towards Texas, that she can get Zoe and drive Zoe back with them, keep her for a week. Now, this comes from the daughters, right? Zero details. That is the worst place to ever put my wife, is in a world of zero details, because her mind starts scrambling fast and overwhelmingly to fill in those details. So this is how we got to this scenario. It's all a who knows kind of thing. It's a possibility kind of thing. Now I already shut down, basically. She's like, yeah, we might have to drive out to get her, or she'd drive out whenever. But immediately my wife said, or we could get her a flight. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Oh no, it'd be like out of Savannah or something, not Atlanta. I'm like, no. Then she's like, I said, you want our kids who have never been on a plane, you want the baby, the youngest of our kids, to have her first plane flight by herself from Texas to Atlanta. She goes, it's not what she didn't mean literally, but she's like, well, that was how mine was. Like, different age, and also I would not have approved. Period. I said also I didn't approve of that. So not that I literally was there when it happened.
And airports were very different when
that's
we were
what I
younger.
mean. Right, way different. You could go to the plane, like I could walk if this were the case. Oh, in Aaron's case, her mom walked her to the literally onboarding ramp.
Yep.
Handed her over to the stewardess. Eye contact. Talk. Here's all the information. This is the only person you talk to. Safety first. Of course, they had a young flyer program. Whatever. She's 12 or 14. I forget how old she was. But they have something that says that lets all the staff know, protect this kid and don't let him out of your sight, kind of deal. And then when she landed, her aunt was at the freaking gate where they offboarded and then got them through the airport. Different. You're right, Joe. Different time. But I was like, no. It's like, no. I don't understand my wife sometimes because she tries to fight so hard against her overwhelmingly need to protect, and basically, if she gave in to everything she thought, our kids would never leave. They'd be standard homeschool kids. They would never leave the house. No, I would ever talk to them. They would just because everything's safe right here in the bubble, right? She fights very hard against that, and I commend her for that, right? The kids always have adventures. They're out and about doing things. She does, even if her insides are screaming. Like Crosby is 19 years old, and when all the ice stuff was coming in, right, for Atlanta, ice storms, right, for Atlanta, it turned out to be not a whole lot, especially not the night Crosby was going out at all. It wouldn't even start until like early that morning. And my wife was like, you need to be here. I don't like that you go. But she'll say it, or she won't say it sometimes, and she'll squish it and still let him out. I'm like, You're 19. Don't be stupid. How about that? I'll see you in the morning type of deal. So yeah, no, there's no way I would let my 12-year-old fly by themselves today, not to a whole nother state. I mean, there's so many times where I've thought about things like, oh, my mom, you talk about walking. I had to go up and alongside the state road. It wasn't maybe a mile, half a mile, but I got to ride my bike or walk over to the Walmart my dad worked at for a little while and hang out and play Mario 3 on the Walmart Nintendo. Would not let my kid do that now, but my family was so strict too that I tell the stories to tell them how stupid and dangerous it was. But I rode my bike 10 miles down the road one day to another church just because. That was it. Just because I was just like, meh, I'm supposed to stop here, but nah, I'm not gonna. Did it barefoot too. That's a whole nother ballgame.
When I was 16, I went to my first major convention, Gen Con.
Yeah.
But I went with my sister's boyfriend, and we stayed at a hotel room with like 2 or 3 random other people that we had never met before.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And it was in another state. And so like all of that, I'm like, I can't believe my mom said yes to that. Like,
right.
What? It shows how much she trusted my sister's boyfriend, but still, like, yeah, I went to a whole other state with the guy that my sister had been dating for a few months. And yeah.
And sometimes knowledge is not power. Sometimes knowledge is scary. And yeah, dude, I can't imagine. I 8 miles, man. I cannot imagine. Well, I guess I kind of can. Okay, I kind of can. What's a marathon? A 5K is 6 point something miles, I think.
I don't know. Let's see. A marathon is 26 miles.
Went way too far. I think it's like a 5K. What's a 5K?
5K is what, like less? It's less than 3 miles.
No, it's more. It's the other way around.
No, it's 3.1 miles. is a 5K.
Whatever
I
the
just checked it by
Peachtree is.
Google.
No, sure. Whatever Peachtree Road Race is. I thought it went the other way with K versus Miles. But anyway, I'm probably thinking of something else. That matter. But the Peachtree Road Race, when Oakland was 14, maybe. I don't think he was 13. He might have been. But it's still official. It's still somewhat protected. There's somewhat tracking on them because they have the RFID in the bib or whatever, so that when they pass certain points, it gets a time. But it's still, Aaron, I don't know that I would have done it, but she did it. She dropped him off at the starting line at like 0:30. It was 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, whatever. And Peachtree's massive. Like the race, the Peachtree Road Race is massive. And they have waves up to double letters, I want to say. And he had qualified to be in like wave K or something. The first wave is the racers. And then it's how you qualify with time up to a certain point. Then it's just,
everybody
if you're
else.
just ready. Yeah, basically it's everybody else. Yeah. And so she drops him off. Then she's got to find her way to the starting line. And by the time she did all that, not knowing exactly where it was, because she got on the subway, or not subway, the MARTA, which sometimes goes underground, but sometimes doesn't. But you lose signal in areas. So she couldn't track him on his phone, didn't know where he was. Empties into Piedmont Park. You remember, was it Lincoln Park, whatever we went to for Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bigger than that. And so...
Okay.
Even when they say, oh, they're going to end here, well, that's where the race ends, but the public has to do something different. And so they had to walk to this other side of the park and walk. Yeah, it was like finding him in the crowd of people and everything. So I can kind of imagine doing that, but that's a very strict and straightforward path. Very, very, there's cops on the way. There's volunteers on the way. There's so many eyes on that road that it'd be hard for something bad to happen. I cannot imagine, Joe, letting them go 8 miles up there. They want to walk to the corner store every once in a while. We're like, oh, hell no. That's never going to happen. It'd be different if we had the house on the other side of the road where you could just climb the fence and go or something. But people crazy, man. People don't pay attention to anything. Texting and driving is the devil. And, it's... I cannot imagine. So now let's roll the dice on which kid asks you if they can walk at least 4 miles somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna pivot because we should probably get to a commercial break. So instead of that 3, we'll queue up that 3 for next.
We are horrible.
Time for a commercial break.
All right. So I'm horrible because I have these buttons set up. I want to do them at the beginning of the show because that's when the most people are listening, right? And then sprinkle them throughout. But I did not do that. So I was going to say, hey, the question of the week is brought to you by Podderation. But right now, you know what? Our biggest support financially is Podderation. They're giving us hosting and marketing, and they're working with us to help grow the show. And we're very happy to be a part of that group.
Brought to you by Podderation, podcast for nerds.
There you go. And Joe and I are going to record some of our own promos for that and a commercial. We got to get our commercial down to send out. But so what else? Hey, there's probably some music, I think. Let's see.
Allegedly.
We got to do our meditations. All right. Now you do it wrong. Yeah. Breathe in slowly, right? Breathe in, F them kids. Breathe out, I'm an okay dad. Breathe in, second wife, maybe. Breathe out. Nah,
probably not.
This marriage is worth it. We're good. I think I'm doing it backwards. I think you're supposed to breathe in I love my wife. Breathe out, divorce is messy. Get rid of it. Breathe in, I'm doing the best I can with my kids. Breathe out, F them kids. And then this last one, Joe, do it with me, all right? Breathe in, I'm suffering as a man. And breathe out, nobody cares, it just gets worse. We're going to listen to a little bit of this jam, and then we're going to come back and tell you how you can support the show a little bit more. I like the crickets. All right, Joe. I see you have up there wiseandnerdy.com/allowance. What is that link?
That just redirects to our Patreon. Patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy.
Yeah, you can support the show, and it helps us get to places like Chattanooga, which will be February 19th, 20th, and 21st, doing this live show and more. John, Dr. Demento would be great, but it is copyrighted. So, what else we got? The Call Dad, wiseandnerdy.com/call dad, where you can get your voice on the show. Share your dumb dad jokes, John Marsh and John Devo and Neil. Or share your stories and answer the question of the week. Or look, it is there for anything you want to put out. We'd love to hear from you. So that's wiseandnerdy.com/call dad. All right, what's the question of the week coming up?
The question of the week for February 26th is, what's the ultimate piece of nerd gear you'd put in your dad cave if budget and space weren't an issue?
Ooh, I already know. I have too many choices, though. That's my problem. So that's a good one. All right, any other business to handle? Any other random speak pipes? Anything else?
Yes, we do. We have a comment from Devo. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
So I was looking through my list you guys have talked about that I want to comment on. And one of them was Reign of Fire. Charles, man, dude, it's a great movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
It got
Screw
terrible
humans.
reviews, and well, there are a lot of people who don't like it, but personally, I think it's fantastic. So, and the part where the kids and he's telling the story, and he says, "Luke, I'm your father." Oh man, this is so much fun, and the dragons, and it's some pretty early CGI, but it's pretty decent actually. So,
yeah,
Reign of Fire. I would it's definitely one of my guilty pleasures. I love that show. I actually have the movie on DVD, so I've got it on media. So you can't keep me from watching it later.
Oh, well, very cool. I like it. See, that was a couple episodes old. Still wanted to hear it. It doesn't hurt if you want to include a bottle of scotch to go with your comments. You can do that on Patreon at the Sky Tier level.
So it took me about half of a second to realize which movie he was talking about when he said Reign of Fire, because the first image that popped in my mind for whatever reason was Blades of Glory. Very different movie. Very different.
Yeah, no, that's not the same, sir. Not the same.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm waiting for Marsh to randomly call in some stories that I'm gonna have to deny.
Oh man. Well, I had rolled beforehand. It was a 3, so let's go ahead and get to.
How do I?
I realized I didn't put a commercial break in the last episode for podcasts. I'm working on it. So yeah, part of what we're doing now is we might get actual commercials. So that's what the commercial break's always been there. But how do I? All right, this is one my therapist challenged me with this week. She says that there's a lot of things she said, but basically she challenged me to start paying attention to pay attention to how I show up for my family, or how I show up for myself. So that's the question I have for you, Joe. How do you show up for your family? What does that mean to you?
Ooh.
Then we'll take notes and just tell her the same thing.
It definitely depends on the context. Like yesterday, one of my siblings was struggling severely, like thinking about ending things severely. And so what we did is I contacted all, because there's 6 of us, contacted all my other siblings, contacted the sibling in question, their kids, our uncle who lives nearby, and my uncle immediately went over there and talked things through and helped out and talked that sibling off the ledge, so to speak. And so it all depends, like you said, on context. But ultimately, as long as you are trying your best, and you have good intentions, uh, and you're not being a selfish jerk, showing up is just spending time, spending energy, spending emotion, investing in those relationships.
Well, like this week, how did you do that?
So like with my kids, playing with my kids, hearing them out, spending time with them, watching a lot of it for me is, and I learned this from my dad, is quality time. And so when it comes to my kids, unless I have a really compelling reason to say no, when they ask me to do something, I generally do it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And I got that my the phrasing of that mindset is, it basically comes from another podcast that I listened to, called the Imp and Skiz podcast, where they talked about being dads, and they talked about how that
there's no other show about dads. We're the only one out there, Joe. What are you smoking, man?
my bad. And they talked that if your kid asks you to do something with you, do it, unless you have a very, very big reason, because as they get older, they're not going to ask as much. You'll get ignored a lot more often. And so I'll admit I haven't done it as much as I should, because sometimes you're just not in the mood to play whatever random B-rate game that they've got that they want to play. And so like for instance, my boys, they really like Peak right now. And I've tried it a couple of times. I don't really care for it. And so oftentimes I'll try to be like, hey, can we play something else? But I still want to spend time with them, but I also want it to be fun for me as well. And so I've played it with them a couple of times, and Malachi always trolls me and kills me, even though the point of the game is to be cooperative and to
Mally.
Right? But yeah. So the way you show up for family, at least for me, a lot of it is quality time.
That can be a struggle, and I found that saying what you want is hard, but it is worth it. And it doesn't always work, and sometimes you're left without what you want. But I love that Ryland wants to. We're working on a show together, and he's excited when we talk about it and we connect in on it. But he doesn't approach me and go, "Hey, we haven't done one in a minute. What's next?" Which I hope that's the next level. That's what I hope for. But I appreciate when I go, "Hey, let's do an episode of our show today." Or if I think about it during the weeks, like it's about watching movies and then talking about them together. And we're going to find our own little grasp on it and twist on things. But I brought him Fifth Element. We watched it and we talked about it. He had never seen it. And then he brought me.
That's a good one.
Walden, I think is the name of it.
I don't think I've seen Walden.
It's an offbeat horror film that was interesting. And I can see why he likes it. And we tried something different there. We watched it together and recorded, but I set the OBS settings wrong. So after like the first 5 minutes, the video starts dragging and the audio's fine. So we're going to have to figure out, because I thought, hey, it's only the second episode in. We haven't published anything. Let's try and see if we can grab some clips of us talking about it during the movie, like reacting. And that'll be like the cold open. And then we talk about so the audio is good. We'll have to figure out something else with that. So, we have a list of films. I don't remember what the next one is, but yeah, I kept saying, hey, such a day, I'll be doing this. Well, we need to work. I want your input on how the intro goes and show him a little bit of business, but also get his flavor on it if he wants to put it. And today we did that, but I had to remember and go, hey, let's talk about it right now and do it. It's but it's the flip side is tough, right? We also have Borderlands, the big tabletop figurine game, and it takes a hot minute to set up, and it takes hours to play. And we played it, we left the table up with intentions to come back, and I kept saying, "Hey, we'll do this tomorrow," and then honestly, especially right now, it's just easy to get sucked into playing Borderlands, the video game, and doing that. You know, he gets caught up in he's binging Criminal Minds, and he's back playing Minecraft and some other, I'm sure, other things. He told me about I want to say it's not Call of Duty, it's the other one, but he told me about something else he was doing today. And you get caught up in those things. And I remember being a teenager, and you talked about how you didn't really care for Peak. Now, to that point, something I try to teach my kids that doesn't always work is teamwork is so much better, so much more fun than sniping each other. Now, there's definitely time when competing is fun, but even in competing, if you can stomp me into the ground, it's much better if you don't. And just keep it close. Make sure everybody has fun. I've tried to teach my kids that. And it seems to show when they play with littler kids at like a church camp or something like that. They're always the ones. All four of them are always the ones looking out for the smaller one, knowing, hey, you can't kick a kickball like me, but I'm going to go, oh, and kind of mess it up a little bit. Now,
yeah, Malachi, stop shooting Jeb into the negatives.
Yeah, I mean,
at laser tag.
Look, if y'all went in with that group y'all had, if you went in as Team Ard, y'all would have dominated everybody. You might have anyway, but you do it together, right? No man left behind. But there's times when I would have gone in with my kids and gone, you're all on your own. Daddy's going to win this one, you know, which you've done a little bit. You said this is the first time in a long time you haven't won. So, I mean, you did instill that a little bit. But with like my dad, he was very outdoorsy person, but Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that stuff came out in my era. And it got to a point where he only really liked football games, which I did not like. And there was some flying game, I cannot remember what it's called. It's Captain Tom or something like that. I cannot remember what it was. It had a weird name to it. And he loved that game. And it just was for me, you know. But I was into Street Fighter and Super Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and I'm trying to remember some of the other Contra, Super Contra, and other things. And I'd be willing to play with him, but I didn't like the football games because I'm not good at the football games. So I just don't, because I don't like. It's a circular thing. Because I don't like them. I don't put in the effort. Then I'm losing, and I don't like it. So I don't put in effort. Then I'm losing. You know. But a memory that stuck with me forever was probably one of the last times. I was 16, 17 years old. Also, by that point, between 15 and 17, you're really friends and moving into the world of driving and working and building a life. And it is hard as parents to go through that. Sometimes because you're used to right now, Joe, if you were so inclined, you could go get Jebby out of bed and y'all could stay up playing Switch all night, right? No problems.
Until the next day.
Sure, right? Grumpy. I mean, there's always, but you know what I'm saying. But Malachi a little bit harder. He's at that age where sleep is deeper, and issue. But then as he gets to 15, 16, 15 years, of course, when you really have your other friends, and 16 when you get a car or at least get your license and a job, hopefully, depending on your situation, it just becomes a lot harder to go, hey, let's sit down and do X, Y, Z. I did this. I'll leave it here. I did this one thing once and intending to do it as like a tradition, but it was just time of life. And I was working for the school full time. So we got like 3 whole weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and I got paid. So I had nothing to do but sleep and hang out and get ready for the holidays. And so all of us sat down and watched all the Die Hards all the way through and loved every minute of it. That was the only year we did it, but every day was a new Die Hard film until we ran out. So we did a week of Die Hard films. And, it does get tougher when they're older to schedule the things. So what you said about when they ask, do it, it's a good thing, but also showing them, hey, maybe we find something to do together. Like Zoe and me, Demon Slayer. My 2 older ones definitely watch Demon Slayer. They're not caught up. I mean, not even to the newest movie. They're not caught up. That's not our thing. Crosby and I play the Dark Anthology movies, or games rather. Excuse me. And that's Until Dawn and Man of Meridian, Little House, The Devil in Me, and it's these interactive animated kind of movies where you're surviving this horror, and it's a whole different genre each time. It's really fun. But yeah, it's finding that thing to do with them is important, and I look forward to hopefully some point in life, either now as they're younger or maybe when they're older and they have some time, say, hey, let's do this again. Let's sit down and play this Borderlands game. And it's a lot. It is a lot. But we love it. We love when we do it. But also, this is the thing I want to give out for fathers. And Joe, you can jump in and then we can move on to whatever we got racked up next. But it's when we're growing up, we look at our parents. It's almost this sense of perfection. It's what we know is that's the goal, right? Ultimately, in the back of our minds as kids, this is what we know what adulting is like. This is life. This is normal. So we expect to be this when we grow up. And a lot of times things do get hidden. And I can tell you, I am much, I don't know if my son's still listening or if any of the other kids will see this or whatever, but I am willing at any time. Hey, let's watch this thing. Let's do this thing. Let's go out in the backyard and make a fire and hang out. As long as I'm not gonna do it now, it's freezing. But as long as it's reasonable, I'm always down to do those kind of things because you don't know. You don't know when the next time is. And maybe for Father's Day, we bring our kids, as many that will come into our studios and have a big dad and kid round table for Wise and Nerdy. Because we both have the space and can work that out. I don't know. All right. So yeah. So there's that. Do you have anything else to throw on that, or you want to move to the Parliament?
Let's go ahead and move to the Parliament of Papas.
Oh, to finish the thought about the kids. Your parents are not always okay. We're all humans. We're all figuring things out. And some of us put on a brave face where we shouldn't. So know that if you're missing a story time, a show time, a hang out and get coffee time, exercise time, whatever it is that you associated doing with your parents that you liked and you're missing that, go ask them. If they don't make time, they don't make time. You'll still have the memory. But most of us don't make time because we don't think about it, and we love that you do. So, all right, Parliament. What's the Parliament here, Joseph?
The Parliament of Papas is, when does collecting or nerding out become unhealthy obsession or escapism?
Do you see the bookcase behind Joe? Case closed.
Which part of it? Or just
it's too
all
much.
Of it?
It's too
all
much.
It,
you have a whole
thing.
book. There's no books in that bookcase. It's all toys.
There's a ton of books on there.
Not from my perspective. I just see boxes.
Wow.
Boxes.
Wow.
Right. So,
and I've read nearly all of the books that are on the bookcase.
Oh, arrogant. I don't hear that. Diva says the hardest part of being a parent is watching your kids grow up, and it's the best. And yeah, I get it. I get why. I'm not a hunter. It's not my thing. Don't want to discuss them or any of that crap, but I get why parents that are hunters, almost force their kids into it because you get them hooked on that. Even as a grown adult, that's what they want to go do. They want to go to deer camp with the family. If you got the money, it's go to Disney every year. Get them used to that, right? They expect you to pay for their spouses to come. Anyway, it is the best. But that's not the Parliament. It's not what we call to talk about, Joe. We're talking about collecting things. Stop digressing and distracting the show. But what do you think? What's your take on when does a collection become too much?
I mean, when it becomes a just complete obsession. When does it become an unhealthy obsession? I guess is what the question is really asking. And it's when it's at the detriment of other things, when it's at the detriment of your relationships, when it's at the detriment of your finances, for instance, because there are some very expensive hobbies slash nerding outs, and so when it gets to the point of being an addiction, really, you have definitely crossed into the unhealthy obsession category.
Yeah.
So yeah, there have definitely been various times where stuff it's on the more mild side of things, but like for instance, the week before Dragon Con at work, I, I'm largely distracted. That is to be expected, but if I was at that level like for months
Yeah.
or even all year long, that would not be good, because that is a detriment to my productivity. It's a detriment to my job, and could potentially impact whether or not I kept my job. But that week beforehand, it I don't know how much it happens to you, but I get distracted really easily thinking about Dragon Con the week before.
It's been a while since I've lived that life, because it is my life. So like I stay on Dragon Con all the time. So I already have like a week ahead of time blocked out where I don't do anything else. But I understand what you're saying. It's just been a minute since I've had a real job that I had to think about and then leave to do Dragon Con and then go back to the cold gray reality that is a cubicle after Dragon Con. It's dude, that's a whole nother Taddy tell me a story right there of going to a podcast conference, being a rock star, then coming back to a cubicle and doing an everyday job. It's depressing if you're not careful. But that's not this question. I see you making a note. That's what I intended. I think my take is a little bit. There's a practicality of it, right? If it's hurting your finances or your relationships, that's an obvious line to me. If you're doing that to replace happiness in your life instead of dealing with something, that can be a problem. But mostly for me, it's when it becomes your identity. That's the problem. There's many people in my real life circles that don't have a clue about Dragon Con or that I'm there. They don't have a clue that I'm going to podcasting and what I do every week. They just know what they want to know in those situations, because, well, I'm always the rock god. Like if you were to watch it's not a documentary. When they do the reality show, if you watch a reality show where it just follows me around, whatever, for my life, you'll see the aspects and everything that I do, but it's not my identity to the point that everybody knows that I'm into anime or whatever. No, I didn't make it last year, Devo. Devo says, "What, Charles? You're at Dragon Con?" Not last year. But it's. I think of Disney adults, and by that, let me paint a picture.
Yeah.
I mean the person that has to is a choice. I'm not going to yuck your yum, but it's a person that has to be at Disney to get the proposal. It's the person that has Disney themed wedding. It's the person that has to go once or twice a year. And in between those times, it's always Disney this on the card, Disney this on the shirt, Disney that on the, when they make it their personality to where Disney is them and it's not them. And there's all kind of nerddom that does that. I mean, I will speak up for Joe. At this point, I can't tell you how many cons we've been to together. And the first one, you got conitis a little bit, as you do, the big lights, big eyes, like, ooh, and you got some mystery boxes for your kids, and you and your wife had talked about it, and you had planned for it. After that initial, I did the same thing, right? The first time you go to a good con, you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy something cool. It's such a cool moment. And you buy something cool and the kids found it cool and you come home, that energy comes through. After that, it has been, let me see if something inspires me for myself or the family. You know, that's, so I'll give you grief about the bookshelf full of toys back there. I'm sure it's got some kind of how-to manuals on there or something, but, you know, it's not, I don't know. It's not your personality. And that's to me where the line is. And for me, it's not you can call anything nerding out, right? It's the golfers who, you know, abandon their family every weekend. And instead of, I'm going extremes because this is what I was taught and shown, right? Not in real life. I don't know golfers to this level at all. This was a stereotype that was pointed to me. But instead of getting their kids braces or whatever they need, they're getting that new club. You know, basically, once you become self-centered about it, once you become I'm going to spend money on this, but not on something that you like or need. That's when it's a problem. What does Devo say there?
That when he went to Dragon Con, he said, I only bought Bob's book and brought back a lot of good memories.
Yeah. You know,
good old Bob Magoo.
We talked about him on Tuesday about how he inspired what we do with the newsletters and everything else. I have a newsletter, so there's that. We'll put that out in a minute. But what's the final verdict? The final verdict, I think, is if you spend more than $50 a month on something, you're a nerd. No.
Oh man, I spend way too much on my kids then.
That just means you don't drink milk and you don't smoke cigarettes. That's all that really means. Because you come back.
Yeah. I do come back. It's true.
To their detriment. I mean, Mally showed you. Yeah, that was a blind pick today, people. We just kind of ran in and we were talking about stuff before the show and really grabbed that one.
You know what? It's a real detriment when you head over to throne.com/RGOP42.
I thought you were going to another bad dad joke
for Charles. or when every other show you have to mention a certain establishment.
Taco Bell. Okay, no, for real. Right before I came out here, some Bahama Breeze is a chain of restaurants I've never been to, and apparently they're all, at least in Atlanta, they're all closing. They're all going away. Don't care. Never been there. I don't care about any restaurant closing, to be real. And I thought, I was like, I'd be real sad if Taco Bell closed. However, I have done my damnedest to keep it alive, so I did what I could do. And that's all there is to it.
I mean, we've already seen, according to Demolition Man, that it will be the only restaurant in the future.
It's the only one you need. It's the only one you need. And after, I'll talk about my EMS partner and how he drives me crazy right now. And he basically refuses to eat Taco Bell, not because he shared a story about how it legitimately upsets his stomach or anything, but because he makes that same joke. Oh, you got to be near a bathroom. I don't think you've ever had Taco Bell in your life, dude.
Did you see the beanie that I posted in Discord?
No, I missed that one.
I posted a beanie in our Wise and Nerdy Discord, and it's the Taco Bell purple of their logo, and it says people who get diarrhea from Taco Bell are weak and their bloodline is weak and history will forget them.
Yes. Oh, is that real? Is that like a AI generated thing? So I'll buy that.
No, I think they made it.
Okay, I will buy that because that's beautiful. I'll put it on Throne so somebody can buy it for me. All right. Look, let's do the promos. I know I got a few of them. What do you got, Joe?
For promos?
Yeah. What can I do for you?
You can head on over to linktree/Joseph_Ard. There is a link to Assorted Geekdom where I've been putting out weekly hightail content. There is, not that I expect anyone to actually go to it, but I do have my Amazon wish list linked there as well.
Nice.
But
Change over to Throne because it's really easy to connect in on a bunch of other sites and stuff too.
Yeah. I just with Amazon, I didn't have to start from scratch because I already had a wish list from ages ago. So, but yeah, good times. Good times.
Good times. So yeah, if you go over to my link tree, linktr.ee/rgop42, you'll have all my links as well. The top one, it's just a little, so you can email me there, but then the newsletter, it says get the best updates monthly, and you can sign up for the newsletter. And it's going to be a second one coming out here because I did try a few things that didn't work. I'll tell you about that in the after, because I think as a nerd, you'll appreciate what I tried and failed to do. But I did absolutely fail to talk about and include a picture of my new pens and what I'm going to do with them and be excited about them. I failed to mention and promote that I was going to be at Chattanooga in 2 weeks. So I am going to do another quick one out there talking about those two things. And I've dabbled in some shirts, but that's neither here nor there right now. So all that being said, I think it's time to go home, sir.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Shut up, Joe.
Shut up, Mike.
And thank you, Tivo. This bottle is quite nice. It wasn't full when I got it, but it is quite nice.
Grandpappy said he was ashamed of me.
If Taco Bell gives you diarrhea, you have hate in your heart.
Oh, that was a good bad dad joke.